over philodendrons? Am I done with them? Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing another decluttering video. A lot of you probably know that I am trying to downsize my houseplant collection at the minute. I have just in general been feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the amount of plants I have in my collection, and so there's some that I can definitely get rid of, and so I'm going to be going through some of the ones that I'm just like not feeling anymore and why today. But the weird thing is, when I was collecting all these plants to show you, I noticed a trend, and it got me thinking, am I over philodendrons? Am I done with them? I mean, the answer is no, because there's definitely some in my collection that I really like, but every single one of these plants is a philodendron that I do not feel like I need anymore. I don't even feel like I want. I'd be perfectly happy to not have it in my collection. And so it's very odd that I'm in that place, because I never thought I would get over philodendrons, because there's some really beautiful ones out there. But there's some that I've tried that I just really don't care about, so I guess those are what I'm going to be showing y'all today. Before we get into it though, I want to say if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanty journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos, and subscribe to my channel. If you're not new here, welcome back. I really appreciate it. Also, I should say this video is one that was voted for by my patrons. They actually tied for 3 videos at the top, and so I kind of got to pick which one I wanted, and I wanted to share this one with all of you. I did one of their second choices over on Patreon as well, so if you're interested in like more content from me, head over there. I will link it down below in the description. It's always down there, but it's there if you want it, and not if you don't. That's absolutely fine. But let us get into these plants that I'm just not feeling anymore. Okay, this first one, I'm over crawling philodendrons. This is the philodendron mame, and while I think it is beautiful, I just do not have room in my collection for plants that crawl. They just take up so much space, and I know I'm not at the end of this pot, and I do have more time with this plant. I just feel like once it gets to the end of this pot, what am I gonna do with it? Getting a bigger trough pot is just so expensive, and I don't live in a big flat either. I don't have tons and tons of like counter space that I can just use for a single plant. I like to put as many plants as I possibly can in a small area, and having them crawlers does not necessarily work for me. And so like I'm a little bit sad to potentially see this one go, but at the same time I don't feel like I need it anymore. I feel like I kind of just have it for the sake of having it rather than having it because I absolutely love it. I've also found that this one is a little bit pest prone. I don't think it has pests at the minute, but it has had thrips like several times over. No, I think it is clear at the minute, but like it kind of gives me like varicosum vibes in that they just get pests really easily, and I think it might be the thinner leaves of the mames that just attract the pests, and so I'm not feeling it anymore, and I just genuinely don't feel like I need to have it in my collection, and so I'm gonna be trying to get rid of it. Honestly, I'm actually a little bit bummed that I didn't bring any of these to the London plant swap, but I was just, it was a little bit chaotic. I didn't bring any plants to the London plant swap because I just had too much on my mind. I had just gotten back from holiday. I didn't have like time to even think about trying to swap at the time. I could have just brought plants to put on the free table, but I didn't have it in me, so I'm a little bit sad because now I'm like, ooh, what do I do with these? So if anyone wants any of these and you're London based and you want to come collect them from me, I'll honestly give all of these away for free, because why not? Spread the love. This next one is like extremely rooted in there. Look at those roots. Ah. So this one is a philodendron Jerry Horn, and I got this one in my rare plant rescue box that I got from the rare plant shop ages and ages ago. And actually not ages ago, it was last summer, but I got it and it was like so extremely leggy that I had to chop it up into several different pieces and prop them, and it is like beyond ready to be pot up at this point. But I've kind of been procrastinating on it because I don't care what substrate it goes in, and I don't want to like assume for anybody else what they would want it in, whether they would want it in semi-hydro or in soil. And so I've just not done anything with it. And like, I know I could probably put this on a pole and get it to grow these kind of like funky leaves, but when they're small, I am not really here for it. They just look very plain, I guess. I think maybe I'm falling out of love with like lobe philodendrons a little bit. For a while I felt like I was really into them and I wanted to get more in all of them, and I think that's part of how I ended up amassing a lot of these. But I just don't care anymore. And that sounds really bad because it's not like I don't care about the plant, but I don't see myself reaching to this one as one that I love. I don't see myself potting this one up anytime soon because I don't care. I don't want to but I don't want to use a moss pole on it when like moss poles are kind of expensive sometimes. So I just feel like it would do so much better in someone else's home, and I just don't know. I don't know when I don't care. Which feels kind of bad, but such is life. Another lobe one that I honestly don't know off the top of my head what it is, because it's not a like 69686 because that grows differently to this, but it grows like these really long skinny leaves. Some of them have a sort of T shape. I don't think it's the tripartitum either because that is even more like M shaped. This leaf actually is also had pests on. I should probably cut it off. But I've had this one propagating for a while, and you can tell it obviously wants a pole. It's kind of begging for one, but again, I don't feel like I want to put it on one. It's just so sprawly, and I don't feel like I need that. Like the shape of this plant, the form of it, is not actually something I like. I think I prefer my plants a little bit more compact and broad-leaved as opposed to skinny leaves. Like the ratio of leaf to stem in these, I feel like I'm not getting my money's worth on the plant because I'm not getting much leaf. I don't know if that's weird. I don't know if that's just me, but I think I've just really come to value having really nice, big, beautiful leaves on my plants. And maybe when this one matures, it gets big, beautiful leaves. But as it is right now, I don't feel like I want to put the effort in to getting it to that point, which I know is bad, but here we are. Also, this one's been in moss for ages, and I don't know if, like, it's probably well rooted in here. I'm sure it probably is. But I'm over it. Also, if someone can tell me what this is so I can like adequately let someone know to like potentially take it off my hands, that would be great. I don't know, some sort of weird lobe philodendron, but I'm just not here for it anymore. And that's fine. I don't need to be. I don't need to be here for any of this. Also, I should have said this at the very beginning. This is all just my opinion. Y'all don't have to feel the same way about these. If you really love them, great. Then you can have them. But I'm not in love with them, and so I don't want to have them. This one, it was actually, so this one was given to me for free by a friend because they didn't want it anymore. So this is an Ilsamanii, I believe, and it was originally bought as a variegated one. You can see there's a tiny bit of variegation in there. but it has completely reverted, and so my friend gave it to me, and I was just like, sure, I will try it. And turns out I don't care for it. I don't really want it anymore, and I'm sure I could give it back to my friend, but I don't think they want it either. That's why they gave it to me. But like, it was possible that I could get this one and grow into it and enjoy it and fall in love with it, but it didn't happen. And while I'm a little bit sad about it, I'm also not, because it's fine. It doesn't really matter. That's the thing. I got this one for free. I didn't waste my money on it. My friend wasted her money on it, which sucks to suck. But like, that's just part of the thing. And if somebody else finds this and really, really wants it, then all for it. But yeah, just a little baby Ilsamanii. That's probably the best leaf in it, the longest leaf. I don't know. This one probably also wants to be on a pole. I think all of these probably want to be on poles. Not very many of them are, I've got a couple that are self-heading, but for the most part, like, when plants want to be on poles and you don't put them on poles, they do not look great. They just look a bit scraggly. So yeah, a nice Ilsamanii there. That'll make someone very happy, I'm sure. Here's a self-heading one. This one, I think this is a philodendron gigantum variegated, and I think this is actually the only variegated one I have in this, and it's a shame because I do really like the variegation on this plant, but I think I'm not the biggest fan of self-heading philodendrons in general. I have a couple of them, and the ones that I have, like the Melolonii over there and then the Fat Boy by the window now, I like those, but for the most part, I'm not the biggest fan of how they grow, because they kind of grow very wide. Again, it's similar to the crawling plants in that they have a really, really big footprint, and so they take up a lot of space. And I'd almost rather having something that's taking up vertical space than horizontal space, because if it's taking up horizontal space, I don't have as much room for as many plants. So I don't feel like I need this one. I don't feel like I'm reaching for this one ever in terms of ones that I like a lot. It's doing fairly well. It's got a couple bits of damage down at the bottom. I think that was pest damage from a while back when I had pests all over my collection last year, but for the most part, it is a perfectly happy little thing. And it's got some new growth coming out in there too, which is good. I just don't find myself caring for it enough to like make it worth having in my collection and like spending energy on. And I think if I got rid of all of these plants, I would feel so much better for it. I would like, it would kind of be like being able to breathe some fresh air, because I just don't have to think about them anymore. Which, having them and not enjoying them and having to think about them, that adds stress to me and adds to the potential burnout that could be looming. I mean, currently I don't feel very burnt out, but I would feel even less on the like potential for burnout if I didn't have this whole set of philodendrons. Okay, this one. I showed it at the beginning of the year. This is my philodendron tortum. It is not happy. I've tried it in several different places now in my home, and I cannot for the life of me get this one to grow well, which is an absolute shame because I really like the vibe of the tortum, but I have not been able to get it to grow well. You can see all of the branches are this like weird yellowy color, and I don't think it has pests. I have checked it several times, but like I don't think it's a watering issue either, because I water it the same as my other philodendrons and a lot of my other ones are absolutely fine. So I'm really unsure. I'm really unsure, but I just don't feel like I need this one anymore, and I think this is definitely one I would end up trying again. This is like the third or something time I've tried a tortum because I do really, really like them. I don't know if I've gotten unlucky with plants with poor genes or if I'm just not good at taking care of them, and that's the issue. So this one I am quite sad about because I would really like to have a big, beautiful tortum, but alas, I have this like scraggly looking thing instead, which I don't want and I don't need, and to be honest, probably should go in the bin because I genuinely don't think anyone's going to want to take this from me, ever. If they did, they would have taken it in like January time because I offered it up then and no one wanted it, so I don't know. Oh, also with the mame, I have a baby mame here that I got for free that I don't want. That can go to someone, that's fun. I've got another no ID. It is, I believe, another self-heading philodendron. But this one's like all green. It kind of gives me gigantum vibes. Like, is it just a non-variegated gigantum? I genuinely don't know because I don't have a marker in it. I don't remember getting it. I don't know how I got it. I don't know if I bought it or I swapped for it or I picked it up off a free table or it was a gift or what. And the fact that I don't remember probably means that I wasn't that into it from the outset. I feel like I probably was, but I don't know. This one is better, in my opinion, than some of the other self-heading ones in terms of shape. It is very much so one-sided, which if you don't turn your self-heading philodendrons, they will end up growing kind of one-sided. But I just don't feel like I need it. I do think I have promised this one to someone, and now that it's spring, I can actually get it to them. Though I don't know how I'm going to pack it because it is like very much so, it's like a thick leaf, thick stem one. I don't think it's quite, it's definitely not a fat boy because the fat boy I have is much, much fatter than this, but it's similar-ish. I really don't know. I really don't know, and I, to be honest, really don't care because I don't feel like I need it. I don't think it adds anything to my collection, really. It's just a pretty average looking green plant. I don't know. I don't know. Is that bad? I don't know. Also, I do want to say that there are so many philodendrons that I really do still love. Maybe I'll do a philodendron love video after this because I don't think I have done a philodendron collection. I could do my like ones that I actually really care about because I feel bad now that I've just been like hating on all of these philodendrons. But we have one more philodendron that I get to hate on. It is this one. This is another one that I got from that Rare Plant Shop rescue box. This is my philodendron mexicanum. And again, this was one that I had to fully cut up and start over with because it was so leggy. And so I did a lot of wet stick propagations and they actually grew really, really well. This one has grown phenomenally for me in the time I've had it. And it's not that I don't like its growth. It grows really, really well. I don't feel like I need it. It's not one that I feel like I go for, and I don't know, maybe it is because I do quite like these dark leaves, and when they are more mature, they do this fun like bunny ear lobing thing, but I don't know. I do feel like I'm kind of over lobing philodendrons in general. But I much prefer when they look bushy like this, but this one's only bushy because it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 plants in this pot, as opposed to just having one. So, I don't know if it would stay loby, bushy, if it grew out bigger, if I put it on a moss pole, because I'm pretty sure the mexicanum does love a bit of moss pole. You could get some leaves that are more mature if you put it on a moss pole. You can see it's like definitely asking for one in here. Also, look at my fun smiley face nail. They're all different, but this one's a smiley face and it's quite cute when I point to stuff. Yeah, I think it would definitely love a moss pole. I just don't feel like I need it, and overall that rare plant rescue box that I got back last year was definitely not worth the value. I'm not mad that I got it because like I wanted to try it, but the plants I got in it, I don't think I kept any of them, which is kind of sad because I spent like 70 pounds on 6 plants that I didn't even like. But that's what you get in a mystery box. You can't pick and choose. But they were all philodendrons that I was not that big a fan of to start with. So, I don't know. It happened, I did it, and it made for some fun content. But now, like, I've just had to take care of these plants for so long, not actually liking them, that I'm kind of over it. I'm just done, and I don't feel like I need or want to continue, and I would be perfectly happy giving all of these away for free. So if someone wants to come around and pick up a bunch of philodendrons, give me a shout, specifically if you're UK based. If you're not UK based, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Also if you're London based, pretty much, because I'm not gonna travel outside of London to give someone these plants for free, unless you pay for my train ticket and like buy me lunch or something. That might be fun. Or I could like auction these and use that money for something. I don't know. I don't feel like I need to auction these. I think they can just go to someone who wants some fun new plants. But yeah, I just think I'm over these philodendron. I'm over a lot of different types of philodendron, and like I said, there's some that I still absolutely love, and I don't feel like my collection would be complete without them, but I would not miss a single one of these if they didn't exist in my home. And so it is what it is, and I don't need to keep them in my home. Also, the thing is, I feel like these are all a little bit too uncommon to just like stick outside on the pavement and like let someone take. So like if I had if I had like a monstera or something that I didn't want, like a normal average monstera deliciosa, I could just put it outside and someone would take it and it would probably be absolutely fine, because monstera is a pretty common plant that people know of and it's like fairly easy to take care of, whereas some of these I wouldn't want to like just send them into some random hands. I feel like someone who actually kind of knows what they're doing is the kind of person who's going to need to take these plants, as opposed to just like some rando off the street who doesn't know anything about houseplants. So can't just put them outside, and they're all also like really awkwardly sized, and I don't really want to ship very many of them. That's another reason why I haven't actually gotten rid of any of these, because they're all awkward sizes and hard to put in a box. So that's where I am. That's how I feel. These are some philodendron that I don't want anymore, and that's okay. Yeah, that's it for now. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on whether or not you're into philodendrons anymore. Are you feeling the same way I am about it? Like, I feel like I'm over a lot of them. Like, I don't want to say I'm more over them than under their spell, but I do kind of feel like it. Or maybe it's just that the philodendrons I have that I love don't really feel like philodendrons to me, even though I know they are. Like, I don't know. It's a weird thing. But are you feeling the same thing about them as I am? Let me know. There's just so many. You could be over and under them at the same time. So anyways, comment down below. Comment other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about in the future, and subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I will see you in the next one, and don't forget to keep growing. Bye!